I didn't spend 40 years building this neighborhood just to watch black families destroy it. Patricia Whitman, Homeowners Association president, $800,000 house, glares at Franklin Torres, a black man grilling chicken in his own backyard. Her finger hovers over 911. Ma'am, this is my home. I don't give a damn. Your kind brings gangs, drugs, and violence. Black families tank property values and drive out decent people. I'm calling the police because I feel threatened. She dials. His 8-year-old daughter stops playing as police get called on her father's barbecue. 11 minutes later, 3 squad cars arrive. 6 officers step out, hands on holsters. Then one officer recognizes him, snaps a salute. Evening, Chief. Patricia just called 911 on Deputy Chief Franklin Torres. He can pull every call record she's ever made. 18 months, 23 calls targeting black families. Every lie documented, every racist complaint recorded. Franklin Torres just became the wrong person to target. Watch the receipts, Destroyer. Memorial Day weekend. Hickory smoke drifts through Oak Ridge, a Portland suburb where property values matter more than people. At 847 Maple Street, Franklin Torres stands at his grill, turning chicken with the precision of someone who's learned small moments matter most. Deputy Chief of Police, Badge 101, Portland Police Bureau, 3rd highest rank in a department of 950 officers. 20 years climbing from patrol to this, a corner office where his signature can end careers or save them, where he oversees policy, reviews shootings, supervises internal affairs. But today, he's just dad. 3 weeks ago, Franklin and Maya Torres closed on this house, their first. After 20 years of renting, this 3-bedroom home cost every dollar they'd saved. 30-year mortgage. Franklin will be 72 at the final payment. He doesn't care, it's theirs. Maya spent yesterday arranging her kitchen exactly how she wanted. Island in the center, pots hanging overhead, windows over the sink to watch the kids play. Zoe, 8, has her room decorated with precision. Scientist posters, alphabetized books, stuffed animals by size. She'll be an aerospace engineer. Franklin believes her. Marcus, 5, found 3 neighborhood kids within an hour of moving in. Yesterday, he came inside with grass-stained knees and declared it the best day of his life. This is what 20 years bought, this ordinary weekend. Franklin doesn't advertise his job. Most neighbors don't know. He drives a 10-year-old Honda Civic with a dent. No uniform on weekends, no badge visible. When neighbors ask what he does, city government, administrative work, they don't press. He prefers it that way. Because Franklin knows what happens when people see the badge first. How conversations shift. How he stops being Franklin and becomes Deputy Chief Torres, everyone suddenly measuring their words. Here in this backyard with the sprinkler system he's still learning, he's just a neighbor. Today's gathering is small. 3 neighboring families. The Colemans, Richard and Susan, they're twins who recruit Marcus into cornhole. Jennifer Anderson, single mother, her teenage son quiet but polite. Mrs. Henderson, 73, who brought cookies nobody requested but everyone will eat. Music plays at reasonable volume. Franklin checked city ordinance first, occupational hazard. Kids shriek when the sprinkler turns on. Adults nurse beers and sweet tea. The sun angles toward evening. Franklin flips a burger. Watches Zoe teach Marcus proper beanbag technique. Thinks, this is what I worked for. He doesn't see Patricia Whitman watching from 3 houses down. Doesn't notice her at the window, arms crossed, face set in judgment. Doesn't realize she's reaching for her phone, not yet. At 2:23 p.m., Patricia Whitman crosses Maple Street. Not on the sidewalk, straight line from her driveway to Franklin's property. Purpose in every step. A Ring doorbell 3 houses down captures everything. The timestamp will matter. Franklin sees her coming, sets down his spatula. Afternoon, ma'am. How can I help you? Patricia doesn't acknowledge the greeting. She stops at his driveway's edge, arms folded. You need to shut this down immediately. I'm sorry? This gathering violates our community standards. You need prior authorization from the Homeowners Association for outdoor events. Franklin keeps his voice calm. 20 years of training. Ma'am, this is a family barbecue. We have 12 people. Section 4.7 of the bylaws states that gatherings under 15... I don't care what you think you read. Patricia's voice sharpens. I'm the president of this association. I decide what requires authorization. Maya joins him. We're happy to keep the volume down if... Patricia cuts her off. This isn't about volume, it's about standards. This neighborhood has maintained certain expectations for 40 years. We don't appreciate people moving in and immediately disrespecting our way of life. The subtext hangs heavy. Everyone hears it. Franklin's jaw tightens. His fists clench, then deliberately relax. Stay calm. Don't give her ammunition. Ma'am, we're not disrespecting anything. If there's a specific complaint, you want specifics? Patricia pulls out her phone. Fine. I'm calling the police right now. That's not necessary. I'll decide what's necessary. There's a suspicious gathering at this address. I don't recognize most of these people. I don't feel safe with this activity in our family neighborhood. Those words, suspicious, don't recognize, don't feel safe, each one a weapon transforming a barbecue into a threat. Franklin could stop this with 5 words, I'm Deputy Chief Torres. But he doesn't. He needs to see how this plays out. What happens when he's just another black man, badge locked away, authority invisible? Patricia's already dialing, speaking clearly, voice carrying. Yes, I need police at 847 Maple Street in Oak Ridge. Large gathering of people I don't recognize, multiple adults and children. The homeowner is being confrontational. I feel threatened. Yes, I'll stay on the line. She hangs up, looks at Franklin with satisfaction. Officers are on their way. You can explain to them. She walks back to her property line, stands there, arms crossed, waiting. Franklin's guests immediately start packing. Jennifer Anderson's son, 16, black, already learned what happens when police show up. Grabs their container. Mom, we should go. Nobody needs to leave, Franklin says. We're not doing anything wrong. But Marcus is crying. Zoe's asking why that lady is mad. The Colemans are exchanging glances. Mrs. Henderson looks stricken. The ease of 10 minutes ago has evaporated. Maya's hand finds Franklin's arm, voice low. Just tell her who you are. Let's see what happens. Because he needs to know. Needs to see what his own officers do when they don't know he's watching. When they think he's just another black man at a barbecue in a neighborhood where someone decided he doesn't belong. 11 minutes pass. 11 minutes of Patricia standing sentinel. 11 minutes of neighbors emerging with phones raised. 11 minutes of Marcus crying and Zoe scared. Then they hear the sirens. 3 squad cars turn onto Maple Street with light bars flashing, red and blue spinning across pristine lawns. Neighbors step onto porches, phones rise. This moment is being captured from 8 angles, uploaded before officers even exit their vehicles. 6 officers emerge, not casual, tactical approach, hands hovering near service weapons, eyes scanning for threats. The choreography Franklin has trained, reviewed on body cameras, testified about in court. He's watching from the other side now. Lead officer approaches. Name tag reads, Hayes. Young, maybe 27, probably 4 or 5 years on the force. Unlikely to know every deputy chief by sight, especially in cargo shorts. We received a call about a disturbance. Whose residence is this? Franklin keeps his hands visible. Voice calm. Mine, officer. Franklin Torres. This is my wife, Maya. These are our neighbors. Can I see some identification, sir? Franklin reaches slowly for his wallet. Deliberate movements, no sudden gestures. Hands over his driver's license. Hayes examines it, keys his radio. Dispatch, checking ID for Franklin Torres, Torres, date of birth October 19th, 1982. Stand by, dispatch responds. A second officer moves toward guests. I need everyone to provide identification. Tension spikes. Jennifer Anderson's son, 16 black, reaches for his pocket, then freezes. His calculation visible. Reaching for ID might look like reaching for something else. The Coleman twins press close to their parents. Different tones for different people. Franklin catalogs it all. Patricia stands at her property line, speaking to a third officer. I'm the Homeowners Association president. I've had to call about issues here before, multiple times. These people moved in 3 weeks ago and already causing problems. The officer glances at notes. How many times have you called, ma'am? Several. We have standards. 23 times, Franklin thinks. He doesn't know that yet, but he will. Dispatch crackles back. No wants, no warrants on Franklin Torres. Hayes shifts his weight. Studies Franklin closer. Sir, have you been drinking today? No, officer. You're certain? I smell alcohol. My guests may have had beer. I haven't. You're welcome to test me. Something in Franklin's language makes Hayes pause. The precision, the lack of defensiveness, the way he stands, grounded, not submissive. What do you do for work, Mr. Torres? Here. This moment. Franklin could deflect, could say city management. But he's tired. Tired of watching his daughter cry. Tired of being treated like a threat in his own driveway. I work for the city, officer. City of Portland? Yes. What department? Portland Police Bureau. Hayes' expression shifts. Subtle, but Franklin catches it. 20 years reading faces. What's your position? Administration. Not a lie. Technically accurate, just incomplete. Hayes keys his radio. Dispatch, can you confirm employment for Franklin Torres with Portland Police Bureau? Longer pause. Franklin imagines dispatch pulling records, seeing the badge number, the rank. Stand by. 30 seconds crawl like 30 minutes. Franklin watches Hayes' discomfort grow. Watches other officers sense something shifted. Watches Patricia standing confident, waiting for vindication. Dispatch comes back. Voice different now, more formal. Unit 447, be advised, that's Deputy Chief Franklin Torres, Badge 101, Administrative Division, Portland Police Bureau. Time stops. Hayes' face cycles through stages, confusion, shock, horror, panic. His hand moves from his hip to his brow, snaps into a salute so sharp it could cut glass. Evening, Chief. The words carry. Other officers hear through radios. 5 backs straighten, 2 salute, 3 nod. The entire energy transforms like someone flipped a switch. Franklin returns the salute. Professional. Officers, at ease. Patricia finally realizes something's wrong. Steps forward. What's going on here? Hayes doesn't acknowledge her. He's focused on Franklin, probably calculating his performance review. Sir, we responded to a call about a disturbance. I know what you responded to, Officer Hayes. Franklin's voice stays calm but carries authority now. I was standing here when Miss Whitman made the call. I've been watching how this unfolded. Patricia interrupts, voice rising. These people were having an unauthorized gathering. Franklin turns to her. When he speaks, it's educational. The tone of someone with authority who knows how to wield it. Ma'am, I'm Deputy Chief of Police for the City of Portland. I oversee 950 officers. This is my home. This is my family. This is a barbecue with 12 guests. There is no violation of any municipal code, county ordinance, or state law. Patricia's mouth opens, closes, opens again. You didn't. I had no way of knowing. You didn't ask. Franklin lets that settle. You made assumptions based on what you saw. A black family having a cookout, and you called 911. I was ensuring neighborhood safety. You were weaponizing emergency services. Still calm, still controlled. And now I'm going to review exactly how you've been using them. He turns to Hayes. Officer, I need full documentation. Your body cam footage and footage from all responding units. The CAD report with full call details. Audio recording of Miss Whitman's 911 call. All of it on my desk Monday morning, 8 a.m. Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. Additionally, I want a record search. Every 911 call placed by Patricia Whitman in the last 24 months. Every address involved, every responding unit, every outcome. Complete report. Hayes glances at Patricia, back to Franklin. Sir, that could be extensive. Then start early Monday. Franklin's tone makes it clear this isn't a request. Because if there's a pattern of misuse of emergency services in my district, I need to know about it. Patricia's voice cracks. I have every legal right to call police when I feel unsafe. And I have every professional obligation to review whether those calls represent legitimate safety concerns or harassment. Franklin doesn't raise his voice. We'll be in touch, Miss Whitman, through official channels. He addresses all 6 officers. Dismissed. Enjoy your evening. They return to vehicles faster than they arrived. Lights turn off, engines start. 3 squad cars disappear around the corner. The neighborhood is still watching. Dozens of phones captured everything. Video already spreading. Nextdoor, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Patricia Whitman's face frozen in that moment of realization, preserved forever. She stands another moment, then turns. Walks back to her house. Curtains close. Lights go off. But the damage is done. Franklin's guests leave within 20 minutes. Polite excuses. Only Mrs. Henderson stays, standing beside Maya in silent solidarity. Zoe tugs her father's hand. Daddy, why did those police officers salute you? Franklin picks her up. That's my job, sweetheart. I help make sure police officers do the right thing. Did they do the right thing today? 8 years old, already learning the complicated answer. They responded to a call, honey. They did what they were trained to do. But sometimes we need to look at why the call was made. Later, after kids are in bed, after Mrs. Henderson leaves, after the house goes quiet, Franklin sits on the back porch steps. The grill is cold. Chicken sits uneaten in containers. Maya joins him, sits close. You could have told her from the start. I could have. Why didn't you? Franklin stares at his hands. Because I needed to see it. How my officers respond when they think I'm just another black man at a barbecue, when the badge is invisible and all they see is skin color. And what did you see? Exactly what I trained them not to do, right here, at my door. Maya takes his hand. What happens Monday? Monday, I pull those records. Every call Patricia Whitman made, every address, every outcome. Because if she did this to us, with neighbors watching, what has she been doing when no one's paying attention? Patricia Whitman just weaponized 911 for the last time, Monday morning. Franklin Torres walks into Portland Police Bureau headquarters at 6:47 a.m., an hour early because some work can't wait. His office overlooks downtown Portland. 3 monitors display computer-aided dispatch records. He pulls data most civilians don't know exists, but he can access with 6 keystrokes. Patricia Whitman, 2847 Oakwood Drive, Oak Ridge. He starts with Saturday's call. Incident number PPB 2024-158392. Caller reported suspicious gathering with multiple unknown individuals. Dispatcher classified it as suspicious activity, possible criminal gathering. 3 units dispatched. Franklin reads the dispatch notes, sees Patricia's language. Don't recognize these people. Feel unsafe. This isn't normal for our neighborhood. Each phrase triggering response protocols Franklin himself helped design. Then he sees. Caller has prior history with address-based concerns in this district. Prior history. He runs a search. Patricia Whitman. All calls. Last 24 months. The system loads. Numbers populate. 1 call, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 total calls in 18 months. Franklin pulls up a map function. Plots every address she reported. 6 clusters. He cross-references property records, every address, families of color, every single one, not random, pattern. He clicks through individual calls. Loud music at 847 Maple Street. Call time, 3:15 p.m. Saturday. Officers responded, found children playing, music at 62 decibels, well under 85 decibel ordinance. Suspicious vehicles at 923 Maple Street. Call time, 7:30 p.m. Wednesday. Officers found family members visiting, vehicles properly registered. Unleashed dog at 1104 Oakwood Drive. Officers found dog in fenced backyard, no violation. Gathering without permit at 2156 Maple Street. Officers found birthday party with 11 guests. No permit required. 23 calls, 0 citations, 0 arrests, 0 actual violations, but 23 police interactions. 23 moments where families had to explain themselves to armed officers. 23 times children watched their parents get questioned. This is what systemic harassment looks like. Not one dramatic incident, a pattern, a campaign. Officer Hayes delivers body cam footage at 8:03 a.m., 6 thumb drives, full reports. He places them on Franklin's desk like evidence. Sir, we didn't know. I know, Hayes. Franklin keeps his voice level. That's not your failure. What I need to understand is why dispatch classified it the way they did. Dispatch noted the caller's history, multiple prior calls. That elevated the response. You assumed she was reliable because she'd called before, because she's HOA president, because she sounds credible. Hayes says nothing. Thank you for the prompt report. Dismissed. Franklin reviews body cam footage, watches his own encounter from officer's perspective, sees the approach posture, hands on holsters, tactical positioning, threat assessment mode, sees the moment Hayes recognizes him. The shock, the salute. Franklin saves the footage, labels it Evidence File 001. His phone rings. Unknown number. Deputy Chief Torres, this is Sarah Brooks, investigative journalist, Portland Tribune. I saw video of your encounter on social media. I'd like to talk about Patricia Whitman. Franklin pauses. Miss Brooks, I can't comment as deputy chief. I'm calling Franklin Torres, resident of 847 Maple Street, as a private citizen who experienced what 6 other families have experienced. 6 other families, at minimum. I've been tracking HOA enforcement patterns in Oak Ridge for 3 months. Your incident gave me the missing piece. I have families willing to talk. Will you be one of them? Not on record as deputy chief, but as Franklin Torres, homeowner? Yes. They meet Thursday at a coffee shop. Sarah arrives with laptop and 3 accordion folders stuffed with documents. I started after a reader tip. The Colemans, do you know them? Richard and Susan, their twins, were at my barbecue. They were targeted 3 times in 4 months. Patricia Whitman calling about noise violations when kids played outside. After the 3rd call, Richard filed a complaint. It went nowhere, but it put Oak Ridge on my radar. Sarah pulls out a spreadsheet. I filed FOIA requests for all 911 calls to Oak Ridge over 2 years. Took 6 weeks. Then I mapped it. She turns the laptop. Franklin sees a heat map. Red dots cluster around 6 addresses. 23 calls. 1 caller, Patricia Whitman. 6 families targeted. 0 citations. Sarah taps the screen. Cross-reference with property records. All 6 families, black or Hispanic. First-time homeowners. Moved in within 2 years. All in homes previously owned by white families. Franklin studies the map. She's trying to drive them out. She's weaponizing 911 to make life unbearable. And it's working. 2 families already sold and moved, took losses just to escape. Sarah opens another folder. But there's more. HOA financial records, public documents. I found something in the compliance revenue line. She slides a document across. Franklin scans it. Sees $18,350 in fines collected. Fiscal year 2023 to 2024. Who paid these fines? The 6 families Patricia targeted. Multiple violations each. Unauthorized gathering. Improper yard maintenance. All enforced by Patricia Whitman. As HOA president, she has unilateral authority to issue violations. And the fines aren't small. $500 to $1,200 each. Pay within 30 days or the HOA can place a lien. Franklin feels anger rising. Controlled, professional, but rising. This isn't just harassment, it's financial extortion. It gets worse. Sarah pulls out another document. HOA board minutes from April 2023. Franklin reads Patricia's words. We need to maintain enforcement revenue to cover operational costs. Discussion of strategic compliance monitoring in transitional areas. Code words, corporate language wrapped around discrimination. I've interviewed 4 families willing to go on record, Sarah says. The Colemans. Jennifer Anderson called twice for suspicious vehicles that were her brother. The Mendozas called for construction noise when hanging picture frames. The Browns called twice for grass height 2 inches over standard. She closes the laptop. I'm publishing in 1 week, front page. But I wanted to ask, as someone with authority, what happens next? Franklin considers. As deputy chief, I can review whether these calls represent appropriate use of emergency services. I can flag patterns to the district attorney. And as Franklin Torres, I can connect you with families. I can provide context. I can make sure this story has the detail it needs. Will your department back you? Some will, some won't. But I didn't spend 20 years getting here just to let someone weaponize my department against families who look like mine. Sarah packs up. One more thing. I'm still digging, but there are indications the financial story goes deeper. Board member compensation, contract allocations. Something smells wrong. Keep digging, Franklin says. Re-engagement. What Sarah uncovers will transform this from neighborhood harassment into something criminal. Stay. The financial receipts are coming, and they're worse than suspected. After Sarah leaves, Franklin pulls up the list of 6 families, starts making calls. By Friday, 6 families meet at Franklin's house. They bring documentation, violation notices, fine assessments, emails from Patricia with vague threats. Each tells their story. Pattern becomes undeniable. Mrs. Anderson's son. I don't go outside alone anymore. Rather miss the sun than risk another call. Mr. Coleman. We're software engineers. Never had a noise complaint anywhere else. But here, 3 times in 4 months for kids playing at 4 p.m. The Browns. We measured our grass twice. 3.2 inches. Standard is 3.0. She fined us $800 for 0.2 of an inch. Franklin listens, takes notes, realizes this isn't just about him. It's about every family Patricia decided didn't belong. Monday morning, 1 week after the barbecue, Franklin calls the district attorney's office, Consumer Protection Division. This is Deputy Chief Torres. I need to report a pattern of potential harassment and financial abuse involving discriminatory HOA policies. I have documentation involving 23 police calls, 6 families, $18,000 in questionable fines, and evidence of racial targeting. The investigation is officially open. Patricia Whitman made 23 calls. Franklin Torres is about to pull every receipt. Day 19. Patricia Whitman calls an emergency homeowners association board meeting. Notice goes to board members only. No residents invited, no public announcement, violating their own bylaws requiring 48 hours advance notice. 5 board members gather in Patricia's living room. Coffee and pastries arranged. Minutes recorded. Everything documented, everything designed to appear proper while executing retaliation. The meeting minutes, obtained later through a board member who leaked them, reveal the conversation. Patricia opens. We need to address the Torres situation before it escalates. He's using his position to intimidate this board and undermine our authority. Board member Richard Sullivan shifts uncomfortably. Patricia, 23 calls in 18 months. Maybe we should consider... Patricia cuts him off. I was fulfilling my responsibility. Every call was legitimate. The problem is Mr. Torres weaponizing his badge to avoid accountability. Brandon Whitman, Patricia's son, present despite conflict of interest, leans forward. Mom's right. We can't let them turn this into something it's not. We have rules. The board discusses strategy, legal exposure, media management, how to get ahead of the narrative. Minutes use careful language, corporate speak sounding reasonable while planning retaliation. Decision. Send formal violation notice to Torres family for unapproved outdoor gathering. Fine, $850, due in 15 days. Failure to pay results in property lien. The letter arrives via certified mail on day 21. Maya signs for it, opens it at the kitchen table. Her hands shake, reading the legal letterhead, the accusations, the threat buried in bureaucratic language. Failure to comply may result in property lien and potential foreclosure proceedings. She calls Franklin. They're threatening our house for a barbecue. Franklin drives home early, reads the letter 3 times, sees the game. They're trying to make him back down, think he'll drop investigation to avoid appearing to abuse authority. We're not paying this, he says. Franklin, it's a lien. On our mortgage. What if... We're not paying $850 for having neighbors over. They want us to fold. We don't fold. But Maya's eyes are wet. This is our home. What if we lose it? Franklin has no answer that makes that fear disappear. Meanwhile, Patricia's attorney, paid from HOA funds, sends a letter to Portland Tribune, legal letterhead, cease and desist. Threatens defamation lawsuit if Sarah publishes, claims invasion of privacy, harassment, journalistic bias. Sarah's editor calls her in. We need absolute certainty on every fact. Triple source everything. This woman has money and lawyers. 3 families get cold feet. We can't afford to fight this. What if they come after us harder? Down to 3 families willing to go on record. Torres, Coleman, Anderson. Still enough for a story, but fear is working. Patricia works the neighborhood, door to door, tells her version. I've been protecting property values for years. Suddenly, I'm the villain because I enforced rules? Some neighbors buy it. She has been consistent. Maybe they're too sensitive? Neighborhood divides. On next door, arguments explode. Some support Patricia. HOA rules exist for a reason. He's using his badge to bully. Others support Torres. Check the call logs. This is documented discrimination. Then ugliness emerges. Anonymous accounts posting racial slurs. Quickly deleted but screenshotted. Saved. Evidence of what lurks beneath. Day 24. Child Protective Services shows up at Torres' house. Anonymous complaint. Children exposed to unsafe environment. Police presence indicates instability. The social worker is professional. Apologetic. I have to follow up. She inspects the house. Interviews Zoe and Marcus separately. Finds nothing. Closes the case within 48 hours, but damage is done. Zoe asks why the lady needed to see her room. Marcus has nightmares. Maya breaks. They're coming after our kids, Franklin, our children. Is this worth it? Franklin sits at the kitchen table at midnight reading HOA lien procedures. Legally, they can do it. HOA has broad authority. Fighting requires lawyers, depositions, litigation. Could cost $20,000 to fight an $850 fine. System designed this way. Make justice too expensive. His phone rings. Sarah Brooks. Don't give up. I found something. Bank records. Her voice carries urgency. Franklin, this isn't just harassment anymore. This is fraud. Week 4. The Torres household has changed in ways that can't be measured in violation notices or legal threats. Zoe's teacher calls. She's withdrawn in class, won't participate in group activities. Yesterday she cried during recess when sirens went by. I'm concerned. Marcus wets the bed again. Hadn't done that in 2 years. Wakes up crying, won't say why, just clutches his stuffed bear and shakes. The curtains stay closed now, even during the day. Maya doesn't sit in the kitchen anymore where she can see through the windows. The backyard, the whole reason they bought this house, sits unused. The grill collects dust. Maya's mother calls from Florida. Just sell it, mija, come home. Is this worth your baby's mental health? Maya doesn't have an answer because she's asking herself the same question every single day. Franklin leaves earlier for work, comes home later, buries himself in case files, policy reviews, anything that keeps him from seeing what this is costing his family. Avoidance masked as dedication. Maya knows it. He knows she knows it. Neither says it out loud. Thursday evening, kids finally asleep. Maya and Franklin sit at opposite ends of the couch. The silence between them is new. They've been married 15 years. They've fought about money, about his job hours, about whose parents to visit for holidays, but they've never had this silence, the kind that feels like distance. Maya speaks first. Look at me. Franklin turns, sees his wife's face, really sees it, the exhaustion, the fear, the question she's been holding back. Look at our kids, she continues. Zoe's afraid of windows. Marcus thinks police are going to take him away. We saved for 10 years for this house. This was supposed to be our dream. It still can be after we what? Maya's voice cracks. Win? There's no winning this, Franklin. Even if Patricia loses, we lose. Our kids lose. If we don't fight, she does this to the next family, and the one after that. I know who you are. I know you can't walk away when people are counting on you. But what about the people right here? What about us? Franklin has no answer. 20 years wearing this badge, training officers on implicit bias, de-escalation, community trust, writing policies to protect people from exactly this kind of systemic harassment, and he couldn't protect his own family from the system he serves. He goes upstairs, checks on the kids. Zoe sleeps with her nightlight on now. She's 8. She's supposed to be reading chapter books and planning science projects and worrying about who's friends with who at school. Instead, she's afraid of her own neighborhood. Marcus clutches his stuffed bear. His face still shows tear tracks from earlier. 5 years old. Should be worried about learning to ride a bike and whether he gets dessert, not whether police are coming to take him away. Franklin sits on the floor between their rooms, thinks about the real estate apps he's been looking at. Listings in other neighborhoods, other suburbs. Could be out of Oak Ridge in 6 weeks. Fresh start. Pretend this never happened. His phone buzzes. Text from Richard Coleman. My son asked me today why being black makes people call the police. He's 7. I didn't have an answer, but I'm glad you're fighting. Don't stop. Another text. Jennifer Anderson. CPS came to my house too, yesterday. Same anonymous complaint. They're retaliating against all of us now. We have to finish this. Another. The Browns. Whatever you need, we're with you. Franklin realizes this isn't just his family anymore. 6 families, 14 children. All living the same nightmare. All depending on whether he keeps fighting or folds. He goes back downstairs. Maya's still on the couch, still awake, still waiting. I don't know if we're doing the right thing, he says. I don't either. She looks at him. But I know who you are. And I know you can't walk away when people are counting on you. Not enthusiasm, not even agreement, just acknowledgement of who she married. If we do this, we do it together, Maya says. No more shutting me out. No more pretending you're fine. I'm not fine. I'm scared. Scared I'm failing you. Failing them. Then we're scared together. She takes his hand. But we don't quit. His phone rings. Sarah Brooks. Franklin looks at Maya. She nods. He answers. I'm ready. What did you find? The financial evidence Sarah found will crack this case wide open. Trust us. You need to hear what comes next. Sarah's article publishes Tuesday morning. Front page, Portland Tribune. Full spread with photos and data. Headline, Pattern of 911 calls targets families of color in Oak Ridge HOA. Subhead, Investigation reveals 23 calls, 0 violations, $18,000 in fines, all directed at Black and Hispanic homeowners. The article is methodical. Timeline, data, receipts, quotes from 4 families, photos of violation notices, graphs showing patterns, email excerpts revealing discriminatory intent, goes viral within hours. Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, national outlets pick it up. NPR runs a segment. CNN mentions it. Comment sections explode with thousands of similar stories nationwide. This happened to us in Phoenix. Same pattern in Atlanta. HOA did this in Dallas. The pattern isn't isolated, but rarely documented this thoroughly. 7 more Oak Ridge families come forward. Patricia encounters they never reported because they felt powerless. Now there's safety in numbers. A community meeting is organized. Local church opens doors, 150 people show up. Mix of residents, concerned citizens, media, officials. Franklin attends, still nervous, but seeing the room changes something. Jennifer Anderson speaks first. Voice shakes but doesn't break. I'm a single mother. When CPS showed up, I thought I'd lose my son. This isn't about rules. This is about who's welcome. Richard Coleman stands. I'm a software engineer. Patricia called police on me for suspicious activity. I was checking my mailbox at noon. Story after story. 15 minutes becomes an hour. Pattern impossible to deny. City Council member James Wilson sits in back. Decorated veteran, moderate Republican, respected voice, he stands. I've heard enough. This warrants official inquiry. HOA bylaws are subject to city oversight. I'm calling for a public hearing. His involvement signals legitimacy, not partisan, about right and wrong. Media attention means protection. HOA can't quietly retaliate. Patricia's attorney withdraws. I don't represent civil rights matters. Translation, indefensible. 2 HOA board members resign within 48 hours. Personal reasons, both avoiding liability. Patricia is isolated, still president legally, but alone. She doubles down in newspaper op-ed. I stand by my actions, safety first. Online response is brutal. Comments ratioed hundreds to 1 negative. Social media makes her a symbol. Weaponized 911, systemic racism, HOA abuse. Legal defense fundraiser launches, raises $45,000 in 3 days. Enough to challenge fines, fight liens, hire housing discrimination attorneys. Franklin feels momentum shifting, sees it in Maya's face, sees Zoe playing outside again, tentatively, testing safety. But Sarah calls with urgency. The financial documents just came through. Franklin, this is bigger than we thought. Much bigger. Sarah meets Franklin at a downtown coffee shop. Laptop already open, documents spread across the table like evidence at trial. Her expression tells him this is serious before she says a word. Bank records. She turns the screen. HOA general fund account, annual income from dues, $85,000, annual expenses, $120,000. Franklin studies the spreadsheet. They're running a deficit. Covered by compliance fees and penalties. Look at the revenue line. She points. $18,350 collected in fines, fiscal year 2023 to 2024. But watch where it goes. She opens another document. Bank statements showing monthly transfers. Each board member receives $250 per month labeled consulting fees. 5 board members. $1,250 monthly, $15,000 annually. 80% of fine revenue goes directly to board members as personal income, Sarah says. They're not maintaining the neighborhood, they're paying themselves. Franklin feels his anger rise, professional, controlled, but rising. They have financial incentive to issue fines. It gets worse. Sarah pulls out contract documents. Brandon Whitman, Patricia's son, Oak Ridge Landscaping and Maintenance, LLC. $85,000 annual contract, sole source, no competitive bidding, signed 3 months into Patricia's presidency. Franklin reads the contract, sees the scope of work. Lawn maintenance, tree trimming, seasonal planting. Services the previous landscaper provided for $40,000 annually. Brandon's company charges double and delivers less. Multiple resident complaints about incomplete work documented in meeting minutes. Brandon formed his LLC the same month the contract was signed, Sarah continues. Prior business experience, none documented in public records. Prior landscaping experience, none verified, but his mother controls the board vote. This is nepotism and fraud. Watch the money flow. Sarah traces it with her finger. Residents pay HOA dues. Patricia issues fines to increase revenue. Brandon gets inflated contract. Patricia lives with Brandon. The money flows in a circle right back to her household. Not technically illegal under Oregon's complex HOA law, but deeply corrupt, using HOA authority for personal enrichment, targeting specific families to generate revenue that feeds back to board members. Then Sarah drops the smoking gun. Email from Patricia to board member Sullivan, April 2023. I got this from the board member who leaked the meeting minutes. She slides a printed document across the table. Franklin reads Patricia's words. We need to be strategic about new residents. I'm not saying anything illegal, but we need to preserve neighborhood character before property values decline. You know what I mean. Increased enforcement on certain violations will send the message naturally. The phrases jump out. Preserve neighborhood character. You know what I mean. Certain violations. Send the message. Coded language, corporate speak wrapped around discrimination. But the intent is clear. Target specific families. Make them uncomfortable. Make them leave. Sullivan's response? Agreed. Let's be careful how we document this going forward. Consciousness of guilt. They knew it was wrong. They knew it needed to be hidden. They did it anyway. This isn't just HOA abuse, Sarah says. This is federal civil rights violation. Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination in housing based on race. Patricia documented intent to target families based on protected characteristics, plus potential wire fraud, using mail and electronic systems to collect fines under false pretenses with discriminatory intent. Franklin processes the implications. If we release this, Patricia faces more than HOA removal. Criminal referral, federal investigation, the whole board could face charges. Maya's voice echoes in Franklin's memory. She tried to destroy us. She tried to take our home. But Franklin is measured. Justice, yes. Revenge, no. We do this right. Sarah closes her laptop. I need your permission to publish. This goes beyond the first article. National story, federal implications. Franklin looks at the documents. 23 calls, 6 families, 14 children traumatized, $18,000 in fines, $85,000 in fraudulent contracts. Years of systematic discrimination documented in emails, bank records, meeting minutes. Pattern undeniable, motive proven, discrimination documented. Publish it, Franklin says. All of it. Sarah's second article drops 36 hours later. Headline, Financial records reveal profit motive behind Oak Ridge HOA discrimination. Board members split fine revenue, while president's son holds inflated contract. The article includes bank statements, contract documents, the smoking gun email with analysis from housing rights attorneys. Within 24 hours, 3 separate investigations open. FBI Portland Field Office confirms reviewing information for potential federal violations. Oregon Attorney General's Office announces investigation into consumer protection violations and potential housing discrimination. IRS begins examining HOA tax-exempt status and board member compensation. Everything unravels fast. Patricia's carefully constructed system collapses under the weight of receipts she never thought anyone would check. City Council Chambers, June 12th, 6 p.m. Room packed beyond capacity. 200 inside. Overflow watching monitors. 5 local stations. 2 national crews. Live streaming. Council member Wilson chairs. This is official inquiry into Oak Ridge Homeowners Association governance. All testimony is under oath and public record. Affected families speak first. 3 minutes each. Jennifer Anderson's voice is steady. My 16-year-old son doesn't go outside alone. He's afraid. In America, in 2024. Because a woman with a phone decided he didn't belong. Richard Coleman presents spreadsheets. Medical bills for his son's therapy. $3,200. This is the cost of being black in Oak Ridge. Actual dollars. Maya Torres speaks. We bought the American dream. We got a nightmare with bylaws. My daughter needed therapy to feel safe in her own home. Franklin steps forward, full uniform, badge gleaming, not speaking as victim, presenting as law enforcement. I'm here professionally. These 23 calls represent systemic misuse of emergency services. Each call tied up resources. 3 cars per call, average 45 minutes, over 17 hours of police time. He submits official Portland Police Bureau analysis. Conclusion. Pattern suggests intentional abuse of 911 system for non-emergency purposes with discriminatory targeting. Recommendation. Policy changes, potential criminal charges. Patricia's turn. Required to testify. Attorney present but cannot speak for her. She's sworn in. Wilson leads questioning. Miss Whitman, why did all 23 calls target residents of color? That's not accurate. I called about legitimate concerns regardless of demographics. The record shows 0 calls about white residents. 0 in 18 months. Explain. I don't track demographics. I respond to situations. Wilson reads the leaked email. Full text. Preserve neighborhood character. You know what I mean. What did you mean? Patricia's face flushes. That was out of context. Property values are legitimate concerns. What context makes you know what I mean acceptable? No good answer. Your son received $85,000 from HOA during your presidency. Conflict of interest? That was a board decision. But you voted? For your son's company? For double the previous rate? I disclosed the relationship. Wilson produces minutes. No disclosure documented. You're under oath, Miss Whitman. Caught lying, on camera, public record, public comment period, 40 speakers, 90 minutes, overwhelming support for families. 1 white resident. I was at that barbecue. It was lovely. What happened after was shameful. Wilson's conclusion? This council finds substantial evidence of discriminatory practices, financial impropriety, and systemic abuse of public resources. Recommendations approved unanimously, 7-0. Asterisk HOA board dissolution effective immediately, asterisk. New elections within 60 days, asterisk. City oversight for 18 months, asterisk. All fines voided and refunded, asterisk. Referral to Attorney General, asterisk. Referral to federal authorities. Patricia leaves before final vote. Cameras follow to parking lot. She doesn't answer questions, gets in her Mercedes, drives away. But it doesn't matter. The vote passes. The evidence speaks. The receipts stacked too high to ignore. Memorial Day weekend, 1 year later. Franklin Torres stands at his grill again. Same backyard, same recipe, same neighbors, but everything is different. New HOA board elected by residents, diverse representation, transparent processes. New policies require written warnings, mandatory mediation, public enforcement data. Patricia Whitman moved out within 3 months. No criminal charges, insufficient evidence. But 6 families filed joint civil suit, settled out of court. Terms confidential but sufficient. Brandon's company dissolved, no other contracts obtained. Portland City Council passed citywide HOA oversight ordinance. Media called it the Torres Act. Requires demographic tracking, annual audits, binding mediation. 18 Oregon cities adopted similar measures. Nationally, conversations shifted. Legislation proposed in 5 states. But locally, healing continues slowly. Zoe plays in front yard now, still cautious. But playing. Marcus stopped having nightmares 3 months ago. Maya sits in her kitchen, windows open. The neighbors gather. Mrs. Henderson, the Colemans, Jennifer Anderson, others who stood up. A police car drives by. The officer waves. Franklin waves back. No tension, just neighbors. This is what victory looks like. Not perfect, but better. Franklin flips a burger. A neighbor calls, "Smells great, Chief." Franklin smiles. "Just Franklin today. Grab a plate." 1 year ago, a woman called 911 on the wrong barbecue. Today, the neighborhood gathers without fear. If this sounds familiar, if you've seen this pattern, speak up. Document everything. Connect with others. One voice is dismissed. A pattern is impossible to ignore. Share your story in comments. Subscribe for more investigations. Remember, Patricia Whitman called the wrong barbecue. Make sure you're never the wrong anything just for existing where you belong.